Hello, good morning everyone, and good morning my friends, good morning my fans, and good morning everyone all over the world. This morning I'm just trying to keep the promise I made last week, saying that from this Monday I'm going to be sharing a lot more with my friends, with my fans, with my clients, and with everyone I can connect on social media. Trying to inspire and trying to share what I've got and share part of my knowledge, experience, and expertise with as many people as possible. So today is it's really a nervous one for me though, because this is the first of the series I promised, and making a promise is one thing and keeping it is another thing. So I've been thinking all through last week, saying what am I gonna share on this first series of the videos I've promised to share my experience and my expertise with my friends and fans. And then it's been recurring to me to say, okay, why not share your entrepreneurial story and let it be some kind of connection and introduction to my friends and my fans and clients and people who maybe are hearing me speak for the first time on video. So this is basically an introductory part of it all. Just to make you understand more who I am and let me understand more who you are. Because I don't want to be speaking to you as some kind of strange professional or somebody I want you to connect more with me and connect with my story. Because if you can connect with my story, you can connect with me a lot more. And that's why I've come to share that with you. So today I just want to introduce myself and let you know more about who is speaking to you. So my name is Ikenna Umezudike. I am from a family of 6. We're made up of 4 boys and 2 girls. I've got a lovely, lovely family behind me. I'm a husband. I'm a father. Lovely wife. Favor Umezudike. I've got 3 lovely children, Praise, Heritage, and Williams. So I'm just your typical normal family person. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business person. And that's why I want to share my story with you, just for us to know each other and for you to understand, the background and the angle where I'm coming from as a business person. And so I've been thinking, where do I start? How do I start to tell my story? Because we all have got a story to tell, but then, it comes from different angles. So I thought, okay, it would be good to start from my childhood, because that at least enables you to know where it all started and how it all started for me. My entrepreneurial journey, I've been able to trace it back to very, very, to my very early stage of life. I left my parents' house when I was about 5 years old. Surprise? Yeah, I didn't leave my parents' house because I ran away. I did not run away. I left my parents' house because my aunt, my mother's sister, took me when I was about 5 years old to live with her because she loved me so much. And she was living with my mom when I was very little. And when she got married, and she said, "No, I want to go with Iken. I want him to stay with me. I want him to live with me. I want him to grow up with me." And I can imagine how difficult it was for my mom to let go of her little boy. But then because my mom loved me as well, she wanted me to have, a very good background and better life. I left, the village. I went to the city to stay with my aunt, and she treated me absolutely fantastic. And in fact, I owe a lot of my success and progress today to the foundation she laid for me. Because from that very age, she sent me to a private school to do a nursery school, and one of the most prestigious nursery schools then in Lagos. It was called Elitonia International School. Very, very good foundation. After my nursery school, I went to a public primary school. And from the public primary school, I went to one of the best secondary schools you can think of in Anambra State. It's called Bishop Crowder Seminary. Okay, I spent 6 years in the seminary, all on my own and by myself. 6 years of independence, 6 years of building connections, 6 years of living with the same set of people, a new set of people coming and going every time in a boarding school. So it was an all-boys boarding school, and we're all living in a boarding school. So it was a time of learning for me, and a time of, really, really significant shaping and reshaping of my future, and basically focusing me on what lies ahead. So those 6 years of independence from parents and from family really, really taught me a lot of lessons. And, when I look at some of my schoolmates back then and how well they are doing, you can tell that period of independence played a very, very important part in their lives. So I left secondary school. I went into the University of Port Harcourt. I attended. And I spent 4 years in the university. And of course, in the university, you are all there by yourself, managing your resources, managing your time, managing your relationships. I spent 4 years in the university, and then I came out, did my National Youth Service in Nigeria. After university, you do a 1-year National Youth Service. And when I finished that, it was a time to decide, what do you do? Normally, everyone will go looking for a job. But I went looking for a job, but I didn't really want to do a job because I didn't really want to work for anybody. So I found an insurance sales job that had some elements of independence attached to it, because I wanted to leave myself a spare time just in case something came up that attracted my fancy. I didn't like being tied down to something, and I don't like tying my time and myself down to just one thing. And the reason is becoming clearer to me, because there are a lot of things that a lot of my friends and people have told me, hey, you could be good doing this, you could be very good doing this. Some people have told me I would have made a very good lawyer. I accept that. Some people have said to me, hey, you would have made a very good priest. Yes, I accept that. Some people have said to me, hey, if you are taking your football career seriously, you would have been playing for Arsenal by now. I'm an Arsenal fan, by the way. Sorry if that offends you, but let's crack on. And I said yes, because there are so many things I could have become. Some people said you could make a very good teacher or a lecturer because you talk so very well and so eloquently. I agree. So there are lots of things I could have become that people thought I could have become. It just tells us that inside of us, we are blessed with so much potentials, but it depends on what you really, really want to develop. Now, let me not digress. Let me crack on with this story. So I came out of my youth service, picked up this insurance sales job in Lagos, and that gave me some time to do some things on my own as well, because I had my eyes set on the bigger picture. And I had always told myself that I was going to do my master's degree abroad. Let me tell you one thing. It was a dream. I had no idea how it would be achieved. I didn't come from a very wealthy family, but at the same time, we're a blessed family. But I had my eye on that dream. I said, I want to do my master's degree abroad, but I have no money, I have no connections, I have no way of achieving that. But somehow, I felt it was within my grasp. But thank God for the wonderful family that I have. I shared my dream and my aspirations with my family, and they said, well, we'll do whatever we can to support you. When I finished my youth service and I came out and we started on that journey, I started doing some job in Lagos as well. So with that insurance sales job, my family said, okay, what is it you want to go and study abroad? I said, I want to carry on with what I studied in the university, because I love finance. I'm a financial person. I love punching the numbers. I like talking to people about money. I like talking about money. I said, I want to carry on doing what I did in the university. And they said, okay, you find yourself a school, find yourself some admission, and when it comes to finance, let us know. I did all the background work and everything I needed to do. Listen, if you want to achieve something, do not be 100% dependent on anybody. You've got to do something on your own. Lay the background work first, and then the help and the support will come in. I went to seek, advice from one of my mentors back then in Nigeria. He owns a very successful oil servicing company in Port Harcourt. I stayed with him in Port Harcourt, Engineer Igwe Kauche. I stayed with him in Port Harcourt then when I was in Uniport. He was an immense support to me because he loves education. And if you love education, you go to him, you will get every support you need from him. He was such a fantastic mentor to me. So I said to him, I want to go abroad and study. We went through a few options, and he said, okay, why don't you go to the UK? I settled for the UK on his advice, and then we started searching through schools. I got a school, University of Bedfordshire. I applied for the admission. I got the admission. I met, with the credentials. Then my family said, okay, we're going to support you. Somehow, I needed, to raise some money to go to school. And I don't know how God did it. I'm a person of faith, and I believe in God a lot. Somehow, God made the money available through my family, and somehow I got to get myself on a flight to the UK in 2007. So I arrived in the UK 2007 January to do my master's in finance and business management. Got through that in 1 year's time. Graduated in 2008. While I was doing that, I also had my eye on the bigger picture. So while I was studying, I was also doing a little bit of work, here and there, as the law would permit us to work within, the time frame that we had. And then the UK had this wonderful program called Post-Study Work Visa then, which after you graduate, you are given 2 years to settle in and settle down and do all you've got to do. I think they brought it back again because the government, they abolished it some time ago, but it's been brought back. That was a fantastic opportunity for anyone who studied to settle themselves in and settle down. So I thought, what am I going to do with these 2 years that I have? And then when I graduated, one of the things I needed, and I know I needed to do to keep me focused, was to start a family. The little money I had in hand, I felt, okay, I'm going to start a family. I got married, brought my wife over to the UK, and then we settled down and we started a family. And then when I had my first child, my daughter, it dawned on me that I am no longer the single man that came to the UK in 2007. Now I've got myself, I've got a wife, I've got a daughter. But then I still have to work out what to do with these 2 years that I was given by the UK government. So I went looking for a job like every other person would do. In the course of looking for a job here in the UK, I found out how difficult it was for me, even with my master's degree, to find a kind of job that I really wanted to connect to. And then I became a little bit frustrated by the things that were happening around me. And I said to myself, you know what? Why would I focus my energy in trying to convince someone to enable me work for them, when I know I can convince myself to work for myself, and I have my time to myself, and I'll have all the responsibilities to myself? And I kid you not, I knew it was a huge risk, because then I was just, a fresh master's degree postgraduate. So what do I do? What sort of business do I even set up? I don't even know the UK that well to say these are the kinds of businesses that could go on. But something inspired me. I looked around me where I lived in Luton, and I realized that people take their stuff from Luton to London to send them to Nigeria. They wanted to do some shipping. And I realized there was no shipping company in Luton then to service these kind of clients. And I felt, so if I can solve this problem, I could potentially be in business. I identified a problem and I found a solution for it. And that was how I set up my first business in Luton, to become a shipping company, to ship stuff from UK to Nigeria for people who live in Luton and who live around Luton. And I partnered with a company in London first of all then. We had a profit share agreement. I'll take the stuff to London, and then somehow I learned the trade, and then I set up my own business in Luton to ship things from UK to Nigeria. But before then, I did something as well. Before I set up the shipping company, I used to recruit and supply security guards to companies in the UK. That was in 2008. I did that between 2008 and 2010. It was a really lucrative business then, and that kind of set me up on the entrepreneurial journey that I'm on today. But somehow, one thing led to the other. We had to abandon that line of business, and then I had to think of something else to do. And I thought of the shipping business. And as I got into the shipping business, I started interacting with Nigerians a lot, with Africans a lot. And I thought, okay, we could tap into that connection and into that relationship and set up something that, serves the African community. So I thought of setting up an Afro-Caribbean grocery shop in Luton. There was one already then. I set up, an Afro-Caribbean grocery shop with the support and investment from, my brothers again. Very wonderful family and very wonderful support I received from them. So I ran that business from between 2011 and 2013, just about 2 years. And then I had to close that shop down. The reason I closed the shop down was because I wasn't deriving as much satisfaction and as much fulfillment as I would love from it, because I had to tie myself down in the shop from morning till evening. And because of the multiple potentials I felt I felt I could offer more than I was offering myself, just sitting down in the shop, attending to customers from morning till evening. So I made a decision to close the business down. It wasn't giving me what I wanted. It wasn't giving me the time I wanted. It wasn't even giving me the money I wanted. I had to close it down, and I moved into an office. And I said to myself, I'm going to focus on a service-based business, because it looks like I am more proficient, I'm more useful, I'm more efficient when I serve people in different capacities than just selling physical products. And I have looked at everything I've done in the past. It's usually a service-based thing. So I moved into an office in 2012 to focus on my shipping business and to see how I can grow it. And as I was focusing on the shipping business, I remembered, oh, I had a degree in finance, remember? I had a first degree in finance from the University of Port Harcourt. I had a master's degree in finance and business management. What am I doing with it? I just remember the story of Moses in the Bible when, he was between the Red Sea and the Egyptians. And Moses was looking for a way out. And God said to him, what have you got on your hands? A staff. Use it. So the story resonated with me. What have you got? I've got a degree. Use it. So I decided to go into the financial services industry. But the financial services industry in the UK is a very, very big one. So there are so many ways I could get involved in the financial services industry. And I thought, how best do I connect with these potentials and transform them into something useful? And I realized I'm very good in relating with people, in relationship. I love talking to people. So I wanted to do something that would keep me in connection with people. So I went into mortgages. I partnered with a company, and we set up a sort of agreement to offer mortgages and property finance to people who wanted to borrow money to invest in their properties. So we went into that business, and that was how I found myself in the finance services industry. And then I realized that as time went on, I developed more attraction for properties. And then I said, okay, I'm going to look for something else that is also going to complement what I'm doing in the financial services industry. Since I am already in the financial services industry serving people who are property investors, it would make sense to bring all those services under one umbrella. So I started researching and exploring on how to get involved in estate management and estate agency, so that when I help people sell houses, I will help the buyers to arrange a mortgage. Or when I help people sell houses, I can help them arrange a mortgage to buy their next property. So it all kind of tangles with each other. And I said, that's a brilliant idea. So I set up the property consulting side of things. But one thing I've always done is when I realize where I am not very, very proficient in and what I cannot achieve, I try to climb on the shoulders of giants. So the financial services business was on the shoulder of a financial services industry giant. So I joined forces with a company that already have all the regulatory practices in-house and all the regulatory certificates and everything you need, because the financial services industry in the UK is highly regulated. So they've got all the regulatory and compliance side of things sorted. I just had to plug into what they already have. It cost me money. I pay a fee every month, but then I have what I need. Estate agents. There are lots of things, capital needed to set up things. I also looked for a company that have all those things in place, and I would pay a fee to use their system and to use their processes to set up the business and align myself and my force with them. And we worked out an agreement, and then I plugged into their system and I'm plugging into their processes. It made things easy for me because then I can achieve what I want to achieve. I can be an entrepreneur. I can work within my own time. I can work with my own time. I can run my own business. I can offer the service I want to offer, and I will not lose my vision and my dream. But I have to climb on the shoulder of giants to get there. So that's how I found myself establishing a shipping company, establishing a financial consulting firm, and establishing a property consulting firm. So these three businesses, set up, running from the same office, and we still have our eyes on other things. One thing I have learned is I have learned more from my failures than I have learned from my successes. Because I've listened to stories and to read books on successful entrepreneurs, and a lot of them have really failed in times past, but they have not allowed their failures to hold them down. So as an entrepreneur, I am not talking to you like some kind of perfect business person who has never experienced failure. I have experienced failures, multiple ones. I have set up businesses that did not work. I let them go. I have set up, relationships that did not work in terms of businesses, but I let them go. Because I wouldn't want to dwell on something that I do not derive joy in, and I wouldn't want it to hold me down. One of the examples of the businesses I let go was a traveling agency business. I set up a traveling agency business. It was a franchise, basically. I bought a franchise, a traveling agency franchise. And the idea then was, because I was running this shipping company, sending things from UK to Nigeria, I was dealing with a lot of Nigerians and Africans. And based on popular demand, people were always asking me, do you do flights to Nigeria? Do you do flights to Ghana? Do you do flights to Cameroon? Do you do flights to Africa? And I kept on saying, no, no, no. At a point, I got tired of saying no, and I said, why don't I integrate that side of business into my business so that it can give me that leverage, and I can make use of the contacts and the customers and, upsell when I need to upsell. So I bought a traveling agency franchise, and when I bought that franchise, I did not really research deeply into the franchise before I bought it. That was the first mistake I made. So when I bought that franchise, I realized that it was more of a holiday package than the flights. And I wasn't really interested in the holiday side of things. I was really interested in the flight side of things. So I realized that on the flight side of things, we offered flights to Nigeria and to Africa and to other parts of Africa. But we weren't really competitive, because there were more competitive flight quotes and flight options for people online who wanted to travel to Nigeria or to Ghana or to Africa. So I realized all the quotes I'm offering, there is always one, an option that is cheaper and better than what I was offering. I went back to the company I bought the franchise, and I said, it looks like we're not very competitive. And then they explained to me, and they said, look, we are more of a holiday company than just flights. So if your clients are more like interested in flights, they may find better options online, I'm afraid. So it carried on like that, and in less than a year, I had to close that side of business down. I lost the money I invested in the franchise. But then that's the price I have to pay for not doing the homework I needed to do on time. But then I moved on from that travel franchise, and I moved on to the financial services industry. Another business that did not go very well that I closed down was the African grocery shop. Yeah, something went wrong, not just because of the frustration of tying me down from morning till evening. I realized that this wasn't really, I had a very young family at that time, and I haven't got the financial muscle to employ staff to work for me in that business. It had and it needed to be a one-man business. I was running it with my wife, and I had my first daughter then. So it was just the three of us. So we had to work out between us how to make this business work. And I realized it was not working because I had a young family. I needed to spend more time with my family. I needed to spend more time with my wife and my young daughter. And that business was not giving me that opportunity to do that because I had to wake up 2 o'clock in the morning to go to a market in London to buy the goods that we needed to sell in the shop. So when I go to that market, come back 6 o'clock in the morning, stack the shelves, and make sure the shop is open by 8 o'clock in the morning. It was one heck of a stress. And you needed to see what I looked like then. I don't want to describe what I looked like then, but the stress was telling all over me. So, and I said, I cannot continue doing this. And the earlier I got out of that, the better for me. I got out of that early to set up something that I feel more comfortable doing now. So, to bring this story to an end, I am not talking to you like someone who is perfect. I'm not talking to you like, I'm not coming to you as an accomplished businessman. I am a business person on a journey. And that journey is what I have decided to share with you on this first episode of what we are trying to achieve together. And the aim is to get you on that journey of life together with me. Let's journey together. Let me hear your own story. Let's know where we can help each other. Because no man is an island. And I am still on a journey. I haven't got to my destination yet. But I felt I am not in the same place I used to be. And therefore I have learned to appreciate. I have learned to be grateful for the little progress that I have made, for the little steps that I have taken, for the little achievements that I have seen in my life. I have learned to be grateful. And I have a story to share. And I want to share that story with you. And I'm sharing that story with you. So we are on a journey, and I am on a journey. But I want to share that journey with you as time goes on, so that you can hold me to account, and I can hold you to account to say, hey, how's your journey going? Yes, I've heard your story. I've seen where you're coming from. I can feel your background. But then how is the story going? So that when one journey comes to an end, I will move on to the next one. When one journey comes to an end, I move on to the next one. Because as long as we are alive, we've got to keep moving. That's the only constant thing in life. Life changes. Between 2012, when I moved into the office where I'm talking to you from now, and now, a lot of changes have taken place in my business life, in my family life, in my personal life, in my financial life, in every aspect of my life. Things have changed. Nothing remained the same 7 years ago or 12 years ago when I came into the UK. So that's the story I want to share with you. And this is the first of the first episode in the series that we are sharing this moment in time. And I've been thinking of what to call this series. And I've thought of turning the negative things into positive things. You know this, when I mention the word MMM, people in Nigeria can resonate with that very well. MMM is one of the biggest scandal that has happened in Nigeria. And people are so scared whenever you mention MMM. But now I want to pick MMM I want to turn it into something positive. So my series is going to be called MMM. MMM is an acronym for Modesties Monday Motivation. So every Monday, we're going to be on this channel, we're going to be on this media, we're going to be on this platform motivating each other. So watch out for the next episode of Modesty's Monday Motivation, MMM. And next week, Monday, I'm going to come up with something very, very interesting with you. I'm going to keep it all in wraps, but watch out for it next week, Monday, and you are going to be blown away by it. So thank you very much for listening to my story, and I look forward to having reactions on this. Let me know how this has inspired you. Let me know how this has motivated you. Let me know what your feelings, what your thoughts are. And again, it's a journey. I am not there yet. I am not accomplished, not in any way at all. But we are on a journey, and I want to embark on that journey with you. And if you come along with me on this journey, I bet you we're going to get where we're going to together. I'm going to leave you with this. I saw this on the internet. It says, if you want to arrive your destination fast, embark on that journey alone. But if you want to go far, go in a group. Let's go together. So my aim is to go far in this journey, and I want us to go together. I'm not in a hurry to get to where I'm going to, otherwise I will embark on that journey alone. But I want to embark on that journey with you, and let's go far together. God bless you. Thank you very much. Bye.